Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. How's everyone doing? So, incoming rant. Then this is good. And I do apologize for being emotional if I'm going to yell or cry or whatever, because even I don't know how I'm gonna be acting in this one. But we are at the last 10 days of Ramadan, and that is amazing in itself that we are in the last 10 days of Ramadan. We are also supposed to be in the Ramadan tends to bring out the niceties in people. It tends to bring out the best behavior of people because they tend to want to have the most rewards. So when a person is crappy, both in Ramadan and outside of Ramadan, on the contrary, outside of Ramadan they are even worse than they are in Ramadan, that tells me a lot about the personality. Tells me a lot about the personality. It tells me a lot about how they are. Here's the thing is, arrogancy and pride are two different. Like, proudness and prideness are two different things. I have no problem with a person being proud of who they are and proud. On the contrary, good for you. Good for you for being proud of yourself. That is a great thing to be proud of. But prideful is not a good thing. To be sitting down there and with the audacity to be arrogant on people and to think that you are better than others, no, you're not. You know what that shows me? That shows me great insecurity. It shows me that you, especially when people tend to like be very stuck up on their like titles, and they're like, when you like if you accidentally call a person and be like, hey, mister, and they're like, they instantly they're like, doctor, and I'm like, okay, doctor. So I change people when people don't call me doctor because I still don't have my PhD, and yet it doesn't. And when somebody like goes like and tells me no, we're gonna say doctor, I'm like, no, you don't have to say that. I mean, I appreciate it, thank you, but I have not earned my PhD, therefore I have not earned that title. And then at the same time, I've seen people who are their PhD and they're like sitting down chillaxing. They're like, oh, if you want to call me doctor, professor, who cares? Some people earn that name. They earn being called a professor. They earn being called. They earn the name. They're like you. The way they command themselves and the way that they talk about people and the way that they interact with people, you're instantly going like professor. But if the way you act and the way you treat people and the way you demean human beings, you're not a professor, nor are you worthy of the title of doctor. You're not worthy of that title. Here's the thing about professors. Professors can be prideful and they can be very proud. And they can be like pride. They have like so much pride in their like work. And they command that. Just sitting down with them and talking to them. Oh, you know you're talking to a professor. You know from the way that they're holding themselves, and they are, first of all, they have absolute command of like the situation, that whatever situation they're in, they have a lot of command in it. They do not go over petty stuff. That's what that industry is. That's why when I wanted to do my master's, I wanted to do my PhD, because I wanted to be part of that specific industry, because it's just talking to professors my entire life, because of the way my university was, the way Oklahoma State University was, is that you had an open door with the professors, so you could actually discuss with professors certain things, and they will discuss with you. And especially with masters, when we did our masters, we were encouraged to discuss and to like. But here's the thing. Here's the catch. For us to discuss with our professors, whatever it is the subject you wanted to discuss, you had to do your research. So you had to have enough knowledge that to garner that discussion. So you had to literally earn that discussion. When you, as a professor, and you downgrade your own worth by being petty in front of other people, you literally are shaming that industry, because you're lowering your own worth in front of somebody who, first of all, is not of the same, like, they're not of the same education as you, or they're not of the same thing. And I'm like sitting there going, like, seriously, that is really the most petty thing. And I mean, okay, so I was like, I dub myself as princess of pettiness because I do get petty sometimes, but it's not that. It's not even my pettiness. When I become petty, is I do it in a very intellectual way. And it's like I literally go into like this mode of just like, oh, you really want to test my knowledge, do you? And I have no problem, because I can switch like that with the knowledge that I have, which, by the way, is very limited. I do not have. Here's the beauty of education and the beauty of postgraduate. With postgraduate, you pretty much know for a fact that you know absolutely nothing. You're like sitting there going like, oh yeah, I think, you'll hear them literally saying, I think, in my opinion, according to like the latest studies, I don't know a lot. That's part of being a postgraduate, is the word I do not know, I think, I'm not sure, is actually in your vocabulary, and it's a lot. You say it a lot. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, well, during my studying, we studied 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is what we came up with. The conclusion was, I think, and in my opinion, perhaps this might be the situation. And this is kind of the conversation, and this is why I wanted to do postgraduate. I wanted to get into that PhD, is because of these types of conversations. It's very humbling. A lot of professors, the majority of professors, are very down to earth. They have reached a level of education, a level of knowledge, and a level of addition to knowledge that they can command the area that they're in, but at the same time, they also know that the field, whatever field they're in, is still, the knowledge that they have is but a drop in that, like, it's a drop in an ocean. And the ocean is a lot. You're always constantly, like for myself, I'm constantly updating myself, constantly updating with the latest terminologies, the latest informations, the latest things, because you never stop. Here's the beauty of learning, is you never stop learning. And when people continuously take subjects and take things that are like, oh yeah, I'm now a PhD, because they take like something called like a micro, which the rise of micro MBAs and micro DBAs are seriously micro, like seriously, that you wanna equate your own knowledge and your own information from a micro DBA with somebody who has taken the DBA as is. And I'm just talking DBA, I'm not even talking PhD. And don't even get me started on PhDs. Like there are levels of PhDs that I've seen, and I've had universities come to me like, oh yeah, you want to do a PhD? We can do a PhD in like 1 year. And I'm sitting there like, what? How? Like literally, how can you make an entire PhD that normally takes about 6 years in 1 year? Okay, now, don't get me wrong. I've done that with like my master's. With my master's, I took something that was supposed to be done in about 4 years, and I did it in 3 years. And again, I've cut the year. The way I cut the year was literally going summer, winter, fall, summer, winter, fall. Summer, fall, winter, spring. Literally, I did not take any holidays. I was like, okay, let's take another class. Let's take this one. Let's do the thesis. And the reason I literally was late for the entire third year was nothing more than just my thesis. That's the third year. That's basically, I finished all the courses in the first 2 years, and then the third year was my thesis. And this is what I finished, is because I thought I finished my thesis in the second year, and then I realized that all I did was the abstract, which was it was a humbling experience in itself. And idiot me decided to, like, I was like, ooh, really? That's not. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I actually did I was able to do it. I was able to finish it within a semester, and lose sleep within a semester in order to finish it. And I did my defense, and it was good. I passed. I had to take other courses because international students have to take a specific amount of credits in order to be able to sustain their I-20. So I had to take courses, and the courses I decided to take were curriculum development. Yeah. Because this is kind of what I wanted to go into. I was like, if I'm going to teach, and if I'm going to pursue a professorship and PhD and things like that, I need to know how to teach. So if I need to know how to teach, then I need to know how to do a curriculum. And I learned curriculum development. Do I remember a lot of it? Not really, because I didn't use it. I only used it in my training, like when I did come up with a lacto, mayhaps like 3 times when I used that one, where I used the knowledge that I got from curriculum development to enhance my materials and be able to, like, do it in a more quote-unquote correct way. Also instructional design and things like that, that's stuff I've learned. That's stuff I enjoy doing, and instructional design is fun. It is a lot of fun to do the instructional design. But again, here's the thing is, all of this rambling that I'm doing, this is kind of the type of thing you're used to from professors, and from, like, this is kind of for us, this sort of work that teachers and other industries will shrug and be like, shiver, just tremble from, like, even thinking about doing this. For us, this is fun. This is fun to do. I mean, put me in a curriculum development thing, and I'd love to do the curriculum. I'd love to do the materials. I enjoy doing material. I enjoy coming up with the material and researching the material and making sure that the latest information is there, and let's talk about this and let's talk about that. I love doing that. And then comes this person, and this is why I've been in such a lousy mood the last few days. This human being comes in who deems themselves as a quote-unquote professor, is the most idiotic human being I've met. Most idiotic and prideful and just horrible human being I've met. And I've met bad people. Like, I've met crappy managers. I've met crappy people. But this person takes the cake. And actually, this person's entire group takes the cake of, like, just being prideful, idiotic and prideful. Like, not even smart and prideful. Oh, no. Idiotic and prideful. And if you're the type of personality who's like that, chillax. You know? Nobody's gonna take your place. And if you think that somebody's gonna take your place, then you're probably doing something very stupid in order for somebody to take your place. So, be a better person. Anyways, this has been my ranting. I mean, honestly, this has been, like, I've been going over this one since Thursday, because I've been sitting down since Thursday going, like, how could a person be so prideful and at the same time so idiotic? How? And then I remember that I'm like, yeah, history showed us that so many times that again, history does repeat itself. I literally pity the people who work under them. I pity them. But at the same time, they're starting to morph into them. And I'm like, great, I have to deal, rather than dealing, like, with, like, just a couple of them, I have to deal now with, like, a bunch of them. And yay for that. And it's not fun. It is not, because here's the thing is, what's fun about teaching is that you teach people and you educate people and you watch people grow. But when people start morphing into the worst version of themselves, because they're either got tired of it or they're either just, they lost it, then there's really no reason for you to continue. There's no reason for you to continue working and things like that. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to educate, because it's worthless. And yeah, that's how you know you're burnt out. Anyway, so have a great day. Bye-bye.